Welcome back, everybody. We are looking at some images that we've downloaded from the internet for our Type Plus image or Type an Image assignment. And I need to share with you the proper way to manage images for printing. This is assuming you're going to be a professional, and this is what industry standards are. So I have lots of photos here that I downloaded, and there's two that I'd like to work with. Here's one, and here's another. So these are going to be a couple of images I'd like to play with in regards to my word, my adverb, which is jump. Okay, now keep in mind this is a horizontal format, and both of these images are horizontal format. What we run into problems with is when we find these vertical images, and we're trying to get them to work in a horizontal format. Now, something like this you could actually rotate, and it would still work horizontally. But something like this, if you rotate it, it won't work horizontally. You may have to crop certain images to get them to work in a horizontal format. The only thing is they may not communicate as well, and you may not understand what they are. Okay, so let's start with these two images. I'm going to open these in Photoshop. So if I right click on it and go to open with, I can choose Photoshop. Now I'm using Photoshop CS6. What I'm going to show you today is the same as CS5 and even I believe CS4. And just for your information, Adobe was giving away their CS2 Creative Suite for free on their website. So you might want to look into that. Most everything that we do for this class you could do in CS2 in the event that you don't have InDesign or Illustrator or Photoshop. Okay, so this image is opened. Let me open the other one. Right click, open with Photoshop. I'll have them both open at the same time. You'll see up here I can toggle between to look at each one. Now, first things first, these are in RGB mode, and that's okay as long as you're editing images, but when you're ready to use them for printing, you need to convert these to CMYK. That's cyan, magenta, yellow, and key black. That's where that key comes from. Most people say cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, however. So we're going to change the image mode from RGB to CMYK, and how we do that is we click on Image, we go down to Mode, it's the first item down, and we convert that to CMYK. And it asks us, do we want to use a certain US standard, and we just hit yes. You might notice that some of your greens and yellows might change a little bit, and if that's the case, you may have to go in and adjust some of those colors. I'm also going to do this to the other image. Click on that image, Image, Mode, CMYK. It is a requirement that you guys use proper image resolutions and modes. You will get graded down if you do not use proper image resolutions and modes. Now I'm going to test and see what resolution I can use on this. To check the image resolution, I would go to Image, Image Size, and there's a keyboard shortcut. This is only 72 pixels per inch. However, it's 28 inches by 21 inches. Now, what I want this to do is I want this to recalculate width and height based off of the resolution of 300 pixels per inch. And I want it to recalculate them proportionally. So what I want to do is uncheck Resample Image. And where it says 72 pixels per inch, I'm going to type in 300. Okay, what I have now is about a 5 by 7 image. A little bit small, but little small is not bad. A lot small is bad. So I could use this maybe for my project. I could also teach you a couple tricks on how to increase this, but usually we'll want this at the correct width and height and at 300 pixels per inch. So I hit OK. You won't notice a lot of change. You'll see the change maybe in the rulers. So don't let the monitor fool you. It doesn't look like anything's happening. Now I'm going to go back to the CMYK file that has the darker rocks, and I'm going to do the same. Image, Image Size. Make sure Resample Image is unchecked. Basically, you want all three of these linked up so they will change proportionally. Typing in 300 pixels per inch, which is a pretty standard resolution for printing. Anything lower than that, you start seeing pixelization. And anything higher than that ends up being overkill because the printer can't understand higher resolutions unless you have a really high resolution printer. Okay, so both of these images are CMYK. Both of them are 300 pixels per inch. And I could crop them here, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go ahead and save them. Now what we do is we save them as TIFFs. So I would go to File, Save As, and I'm going to go ahead and click on my folder that I'm working with, and I'm going to click where the format is. I'm going to change it from JPEG to TIFF. Now it won't save over my previous one because it's a different file format. So I hit Save. This is just asking me about compression. You really don't have to mess with anything here. And I hit OK. I'm going to do the same with the other one after I close this. Again, that was File, Save As, and I'm going to choose my folder that I originally brought my scans to, images to, choose my format as a TIFF, and save it, and then for TIFF options, hit OK. And then I'm going to close out of Photoshop. Now these images are ready to use for printing. Let me view by list, and we'll see there's a TIFF here. Notice how it went from 1.5 megabytes to 13 megabytes? Well, it has an additional channel, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, instead of RGB, which is only 3 channels, red, green, and blue. And it's 300 pixels per inch, so we've changed quite a bit about this. So there's a big difference between JPEGs, TIFFs. TIFF is not lossy compression. It's a better, more higher resolution. And my other image looks like it's right here. It says TIFF. It also has the most recent date. If you want to know what things you've modified most recently, click Date Modified and it'll bring them to the top on a Mac. Okay, so now I'm ready to bring these into InDesign. So I'm going to stop this video and we'll start another one on how to manage images through InDesign. Thanks.